Last weekend we saw WrestleMania 41 and it was great. I had a lot of fun with the show and I even made a predictions video based on who I thought was going to win the matches. So today we're doing a follow-up video to give my thoughts and feelings about the show and to see what I got right and what I got wrong. We're also going to do a fun tally at the end where we see how many matches I got right and how many matches I called wrong. With all that, I'm Rocko from Reamlore and let's dive in. By the way, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We upload videos just like this one on our Reamlore channel. We upload a great new video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 3 p.m, so make sure you're subscribed with that bell pressed to get notified when we upload. So to start things off on night one, it was Jelly Roll doing the national anthem, and I thought that was really nice. We also had the commentary by Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, and Pat McAfee. Wade Barrett especially, he's one of my favorites, and this was his first WrestleMania calling commentary, and I thought these three together did a great job. Our first match was Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was a terrific match. Everyone was saying, oh, this match is gonna suck, it doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match, Jey Uso shouldn't be in this position. Well, they both proved everyone saying that wrong. They had a terrific match, and it ended when Jey Uso locked on the sleeper hold on Gunther, and Gunther tapped out, making Jey Uso the world champion. I popped for this. Jey is one of my favorites, and I loved seeing him win the title finally. Now, people are saying, oh, Gunther shouldn't have tapped out. He absolutely should have tapped out. He's a heel, he's a bad guy, he's cowardly, he should be tapping out. I don't want to see him fight for his life like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not a good guy. So Gunther tapping out made all of the sense, and Jey Uso celebrated with his brother Jimmy, and it was just such a great way to open the show. And I totally called it. Jey Uso won. Our next match was the New Day taking on the War Raiders for the World Tag Team titles. It was a fun match, and Ivar absolutely stole the show. This guy is a super athlete. Like, he weighs like 300 pounds, yet he moves around like a cruiserweight. And it ended when the New Day hit a big move, cheated to win, and won the World Tag Team titles. This absolutely needed to happen. They had the best heel turn last year, and I'm glad to see them have their WrestleMania moment. And I guessed it right. I said the New Day were gonna win. Naomi versus Jade Cargill was next, and it was a fun match. Jade had a great entrance too when she had a fake weather report reporting a storm is coming. It ended when Jade hit the Jaded, and she won, getting her revenge. And I called it right, so that's another point to me. Our next match was Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the US Championship, and you could argue this was the best match so far. These two together are just great, and that maneuver near the end. Jacob Fatu does this awesome moonsault, but LA Knight catches him and turns it into the BFT. That was amazing! Anyways, unfortunately, I did call this wrong. After a while, Jacob Fatu hit the moonsault and won the United States Championship. I guessed this wrong. I thought LA Knight was going to win because Solo Sikoa would turn on Jacob, letting the megastar retain, but I don't really care. I really like Jacob, and seeing him get this WrestleMania moment was great. And he even celebrated with his dad, Haku. At least I think it's his dad, I don't really know. Unfortunately, we get bad news next because it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano or Chad Gable, but unfortunately Rey had been injured on Friday Night SmackDown, which is just a total bummer. Rey, get well soon. That must suck, getting injured one day before the biggest show of them all. The silver lining of all of this, though, is because his replacement was Rey Fenix, and I thought that was just awesome. Rey Fenix debuted 3 weeks ago, and he's already getting a WrestleMania match. So I'm happy for him, and he and El Grande Americano, Lucha Libre veteran, had a great match. Before the match too, we saw Lucha legend Vikingo ringside at WrestleMania. And the reason for this is because WWE purchased AAA. So now they're a part-time owner of the company, and they're even gonna have a Worlds Collide pay-per-view. I thought that was pretty cool. You get a chance to really build the AAA division, as it's one of the top lucha promotions in the world. And if you think about it, WWE having a partnership with AAA and having a partnership with TNA is huge. You have two wrestling promotions under the WWE banner. So now anyone from those promotions could cross over and have a match. And trust me, after what happened on night 2, anything is possible. And I thought it's nice what they did here. They did a little cross promotion with Vikingo kicking El Grande in the face. El Grande's entrance was amazing, by the way, because he had a mariachi band playing him to the ring. Now I should mention, some Mexican fans of Lucha Libre don't really enjoy this El Grande character. They say he's mocking the honored tradition of Lucha Libre, and I can fully understand these feelings. If you grew up loving something, seeing it mocked is not a good feeling. For example, I still get upset when people who don't respect wrestling walk up to me and say, oh, you know that stuff's fake, right? They just dismiss it completely, when in reality, these athletes are putting their bodies on the line to entertain us. The bumps they take are real, and they get serious injuries competing out there. Bit of a tangent, but my point is, if you don't like the El Grande character, I can understand. But to me, personally, you're not supposed to like El Grande because he's doing just that. He's mocking Lucha Libre. You're glad when Rey Fenix or another luchador punches them in the face, telling you, no, that's not Lucha Libre tradition. So I think it's a good story, and I'm a big fan of Chad Gable. He's finally getting his WrestleMania moment, and he's doing everything he can to make it lighthearted and comedic. As I said, the match was good and it ended when El Grande slipped a piece of metal plate in his mask and hit Rey Fenix with 2 headbutts, winning the match. And I did like that. We protected Rey Fenix a little bit. Real quick, I'm also throwing out the prediction I made last time. I made that prediction based on Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable, El Grande Americano. So I'm not counting my predictions here. We then get to a controversial one, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's WWE Championship. First, I want to say Tiffany's entrance was awesome. She was in a Barbie doll case, and when she walked out, she had the Barbie house above her head. That was great. Something bad right at the start, however, they're both wearing pink outfits. They already looked similar. They both have blonde hair and they were around the same height, so when they were doing the faraway shots, I couldn't tell who was who. Now, yes, there was some miscommunication here and there, and some of the moves were sloppy, and based on how Tiffany looked after the match, I'm guessing Charlotte Flair laid into her a little bit. By the end of it, Tiffany's face was swollen and bruised. Still, they worked hard and had a decent match with Tiffany hitting the moonsault and getting the win. So I got another one right. So we had the Hall of Fame inductions next. Michelle McCool, the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, Lex Luger, as well as the headliner Triple H. Plus a new category called Greatest Match Ever. This year's inductees being Bret Hart versus Stone Cold in their WrestleMania 13 match. The Hall of Fame is always nice, and these were good picks, especially Triple H. He massively deserved it. We then get to our night 1 main event, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Seth had an awesome entrance with a costume change and a flamethrower. Roman's entrance also had a bunch of screens depicting former Bloodline members, who have retired like Alpha, Sika, and Rikishi, and many more. The winner of Best Entrance, however, went to CM Punk, because we had an awesome video of CM Punk's journey to get here, from his OVW days, to his ECW days, to the WWE main event scene. Backed by his old theme song, This Fire Burns. Oh my gosh, I love that theme, and I'm glad he brought it back this one time. It gets even better because Living Color plays his theme song to the ring. This is insane. In case you didn't know, Living Color had been broken up for years, and they came back just to do this entrance. 25 years broken apart and reunited on the grandest stage of them all. This match was absolutely the match of the night, with so many great moments. These three have terrific chemistry together. I could gush about this match all day, and when you get to WrestleMania, you have extra bars of health, so they're hitting finishers non-stop. They even all hit their big moves on each other at the same time somehow. The ending is the big talking point, and one I totally guessed. Because yes, Paul Heyman gets a chair and hands it to CM Punk, before low-blowing his best friend and handing it to Roman Reigns, saying, "Hey, I choose you, my tribal chief, and CM Punk, you suck." Paul then directs Roman to Seth Rollins, saying, "Hey, take your revenge on Seth," before low-blowing Roman too. He then hands Seth the chair, and Seth hits another chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns, repeating the chair shot heard around the world from over 10 years ago, and wins the match. I was shocked, even though I guessed it. I said Paul Heyman would join with Seth Rollins, but that was just a wild theory I had. I threw it out there because I thought that would be cool, but there was no way WWE was actually going to do it. But joke's on me, they did it and it was great. However, I did predict CM Punk would win, so that's a point against me. But I get personal bonus points because I guessed the big twist. So night 1 was over, and with 1 match thrown out, I got 4 out of 6 correct. I'd say I did pretty good for night 1. Cutting over to night 2, we had Ava Max singing the national anthem, and she was great. Our first match was Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the Women's World Championship. And shockingly, Io retained. I was super happy with that. Io was one of my favorites, and seeing her get this WrestleMania moment was huge. I love all of Damage Control, and seeing even one of them get this spotlight is great, because she eventually hit the moonsault, pinned Bianca Belair, and won. I was unfortunately wrong about this. I thought Bianca was going to win with Naomi's help, revealing that they're both bad guys. But that didn't happen, and Io won, so I don't get the point. But hey, the match was so good, and I like Io so much, I didn't even care. Next up was Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. The entrances were great because Drew was dressed as Doomslayer. I love that game franchise, and I popped massively. Damian's was great too because he had the guitarist from Slayer play his theme song. A lot of people were doubting this match when it was building, saying, "Oh, this doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match." Well, they proved everyone wrong. This was great and probably the most brutal match on WrestleMania, especially that finish where Drew claymored Damian's head into a steel chair to get the win. And trust me, there was nothing fake about that. He just kicked his head right in. Sadly, I got this wrong. I said I thought Damian was gonna win, but either guy winning is not an issue. Next up was Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. This was incredible. All of these guys are amazing. Penta and Finn continue to be legends. Braun is absolutely gonna be the face of WWE one day, and Dominic Mysterio is the best heel ever, and on this night, he got the biggest win. And I called this dead on. Dom and Finn were working together at the start, but eventually Dom turns on Finn, hits him with the frog splash, and gets the 1, 2, 3, becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. And everybody lost it. I should say most WWE crowds play along with the story being told. Hey, these are the good guys you cheer for, here are the bad guys you boo. But for certain crowds like New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, and this crowd Las Vegas, they just cheer and boo for whoever they want. And on this night, everybody wanted Dom to win. The other great moment in the match is where Penta had the match won, but Carlito pulled the ref out of the ring, and it eventually led to Braun spearing Carlito through the announce table. That looked insane. So I did guess the match right, and I got a point. Our next match was Randy Orton versus a mystery opponent. Now I think I can say that nobody really guessed this. I know some people will say, oh, I guessed it. No, you didn't. Because believe it or not, the one who answered Randy Orton's open challenge was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Joe Hendry. I jumped out of my seat because I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. One of my favorite wrestlers from TNA is competing at WrestleMania. Imagine you told anyone this 10 years ago when WWE and TNA were in steady competition. Oh yeah, a TNA superstar is gonna face one of the biggest WWE stars ever. They wouldn't believe it. Plus, everyone else went nuts, and why wouldn't you? This isn't like a cameo at the Royal Rumble. This is a legit TNA superstar competing at WWE's biggest show. I was so happy we were getting a dream match at WrestleMania, and yeah, it didn't go on that long, but hey, it was fun for what it was. So after Joe did that awesome turn thing he does, Randy Orton hit him with an RKO and won the match. Afterwards, Randy praised Joe before giving him another RKO, but it's the friendliest RKO you've ever seen. This match was awesome, but my prediction said I thought Randy was gonna win if it was Nick Aldis, but lose if it was anybody else. So I'm taking the L on this one, but I don't care. I love Joe Hendry, and seeing him in WWE is awesome. Next up is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, and I'll keep this short. They had a decent match, but near the end, one of Logan's goons tried to hand him the brass knucks, but Karrion Kross interfered. He then showed off the brass knuckles to AJ and said, you need to take him out, but AJ refused this, punched Kross in the face, but then he got back in the ring and Logan beat him. I just want to say, I think Karrion Kross is awesome. He is the king of maximizing his minutes. He is just such a troll backstage and in the ring. I just love him. I hope this has told WWE to use him more going forward. And I guessed wrong again. I said AJ was gonna win. I'm not doing great on night 2. We also got a bunch of celebrities on WrestleMania. I only really knew 2 of them, however, sorry, I'm not a big rapper fan. The first being Vanessa Hudgens from the High School Musical franchise, and the other being Stephen Amell, who played Arrow. Our penultimate WrestleMania match before the main event was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra Valkyria and a mystery partner for the women's tag team titles. Yeah, this WrestleMania is kind of cursed with injuries because Bayley was taken out backstage and had to be taken out of the match. Now, I don't know if this was part of the plan or if Bayley legit got injured, but either way, Bayley was out of the match. In her place, however, was the returning Becky Lynch, and everybody went nuts. After almost a year to take a break, Becky is back and she's Lyra's partner. And shock of all shocks, they won the tag team titles, which means Becky is now a champion and Lyra is now Lyra 2 belts. I am throwing out the point against me, however. When I made my prediction, I based that on the information that it was Bayley and Lyra taking on Liv and Raquel. There was no way to predict that Becky would take her place. So just like with the El Grande match, I'm not counting it against me. Our WrestleMania main event was next, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. First off, the entrances were great. John Cena came out and he didn't have any fancy title cards or any spectacular entrances. He just had his name in black and white text as he walked to the ring. Because that ties into his character. He says, I'm not giving you fans anything. You don't deserve any fancy graphics. You just get my name. Because I'm not here for any of you. I'm here to win for me. And Cody comes out. He comes out with these motorcycles racing all around him. And he has this skull helmet that retracts like an Iron Man helmet. That was so awesome. And when they did get to wrestling, the Las Vegas fans didn't know what to do. As I said, Las Vegas crowds just cheer and boo for whoever they want. So at points in the match, they're saying Cody sucks and then singing his theme song like Cody Rhodes. And then at other points in the match, they're saying, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. They had no idea what to do, but the point is they were making noise the whole time. They had a terrific match, obviously, but near the end, Travis Scott came out to help John Cena. I have to give fair play to Travis too, because he took a crossroads ear that Cody gave him, and that was a stiff crossroads too. So fair play to that guy, and the ending of the match saw John Cena try to hit Cody with the belt, but Cody stopped him. John Cena then pleaded like a cowardly heel, don't do it, please don't do it, and in a moment of weakness, Cody doesn't do it, because again, he said John is his hero. He had a moment of weakness, and John took that opportunity to kick Cody in the nuts, hit him with the belt, and pin him for the 1, 2, 3, meaning John Cena is now a 17-time world champion. This was an awesome main event, but the only weird thing about this is The Rock didn't show up. He played a big part in this story and was a huge reason why John Cena turned heel. Like, that was such a big moment. Why didn't he show up? But whatever. From here, Cody can now work his way back up and reclaim his championship. Meanwhile, John Cena had a terrific final WrestleMania and can now face Randy Orton and CM Punk and Roman Reigns in the following months before facing Cody in a rematch where he loses the title. And that's another point against me. I said John Cena was gonna win, so my overall total for night 2 was 2 out of 6 matches called right. Yeah, I didn't do great on night 2, but overall, I got 6 out of 12 matches correct, with 2 being thrown out due to complications. So that's 50% right, so that's good for me, and hopefully next year I can do a little bit better. My overall thoughts about WrestleMania is I thought this year's WrestleMania was great. It wasn't perfect and it had no chance of topping WrestleMania 40, but for what it was, I thought it was really fun. And it left WWE in a great place to tell more stories. What needs to happen next, however, is WWE needs to do the draft and separate Cody and Cena for the time being. Have them go off in their own directions to have their own feuds and storylines before coming back together near the end of the year, when Cena's ready to drop the title and leave. And we have to make sure to rehabilitate Cody by having him be the coolest person ever. Make sure the fans don't turn on him. We don't want a repeat of what happened in AEW where half the audience turned on him. For no reason, I should add. Now, I may be making a bigger deal out of this than I thought. Las Vegas crowds, as I said, just boo and cheer for whoever they want. But give Cody a cool edge just to be safe. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.